Everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to take a look at the version 18.0 update. There's actually a lot here to go through, so let's not waste too much time. And as you notice, I'm actually on my home screen right now rather than the game screen, and that's because there is one update that actually takes place outside of the actual app, and that is the schedule widget. This is available for both iOS and Android devices, but basically it allows you to take a look at the schedule outside of the game. It might be a useful feature, it might not, but I was happy to see Ness from the Discord channel was able to get some screenshots for those of you using an iOS Apple device. And I'll just go through the steps real quick so that you can use it if you want. There's one thing that I do want to warn. Actually, we'll talk about that once we actually go through steps. So the first thing is on your Apple device, just swipe all the way to the left until you reach this screen over here, which gets you to the widgets, I believe. Once you get to here, then you can scroll all the way down to the page, and you should see this edit button. When you hit that edit button, you'll be able to see all of the available widgets you can add. Now, if your mode is in English, the widget is still in Japanese, so that's gonna show up at the end of the alphabetical list. So go ahead and scroll all the way down until you see that. You should see the Japanese there, Mons schedule, and if you can't read it, well, maybe you can tell that it's the language you can't read, or just look at the icon and click the green button on the left. When you do that, oops, wrong way, you should see the list of add widgets. You can of course take those 3 lines on the right and drag them up and down to make them put that in the order you wish. And once you go back to the previous screen, you should now see that Mons schedule widget there. Go ahead and click that arrow on the top right to expand it out, and there you can see the current schedule of the game. Now, the thing that I want to talk about, it's in red at the beginning of that note I have, is that these times are in Japan time. They have not been localized to your current location, so you're going to have to do some mental math there to see what time it is going to be in your local time zone. Now, of course, this is going to be fairly up to date. I'm not sure how often this updates, so I didn't see any details about that on the page, but for Android folks, you're going to see the exact same thing, and we're going to do it on my device. So let's get rid of this iOS version because I'm not a fan of that. Okay, and let's go through the exam. The instructions are pretty much the same, and of course this can differ per phone model. That is one of the downsides of Android, is that there's a lot of fracturing going on. So what you can do is when you're on the home screen, make sure you have enough space because it does take a lot. Just long press that home screen. And this is applicable for my Samsung device, at least. There's a widget option on the bottom. You should probably see something similar like that. When you go that, you'll again scroll to the right so that you can go to the Monst page. Again, it's going to be alphabetical order. Japanese is at the end. So you click that. You hold it, and then you just place it there. It's a 4x4 widget, so you can see that it does take a lot of space. You can, of course, resize it as you feel like it. It needs a minimum of 4.4, but you can see my phone supports up to 6x4, so I'm able to get the whole page there. Now you can see that there's 2 buttons here, whereas the iOS only had 1, right? For the left, the one with Oregon on that, start the app. You can actually click that button and start the app. On the right side, it actually says refresh the page, so this will actually not refresh for you unless you click this button. It appears. I'm not sure why there's a difference there. Maybe it's actually there to save some cycles. You don't want this pinging the servers, which is why I suspect there was that extended maintenance. That's all these widgets were now hammering the server with all their pings for the schedule. That's what caused it to go down. But anyways, if you want to refresh, click the refresh button on the right. If you want to start Monster Strike, click the button on the left. And you can see that they updated their logo to get rid of the barbecue shield, which about time. Anyways, it is 18.0, so they have a new opening video. It does feature Uri in her transcended Kai form, which is already out. Go ahead and take that if you haven't already. And with that, let's get started with the updates that can be found in the game. So let's go straight to number 2. The Quest UI screen has been updated. They have actually split all of those areas into 3 different categories. Now, as an ex-UI software developer, I think they made one step backwards in terms of accessibility. Accessibility is probably not the right word, but you basically introduced one extra motion to do anything. Right? Before, even though it might have been a pain, you could just swirl around to find the quest you wanted to do. But now you have to actually go to the appropriate category first, and then go to the quest you want. That's not exactly ideal. So I think this is a step backwards. Hopefully they fix it in the next big update, but we're gonna have to deal with this. And you're gonna have to learn, as a non-English or non-Japanese speaker, you're gonna need to learn where everything is, right? There is no icons on the bottom to show which category is going with which. So take this as an opportunity, as a, to learn something here. First one is the normal and training categories. You can see that it's in 2 lines. Go ahead, notice that long bar in the middle. No more. And you can also see the complicated kanjis there on the bottom. 2 lines, that's the normal and training stages. The second group is the events, so all of the temporal events, or the places to take on scheduled events, the library. You can see that the unexplored lands is there. Of course, the Kinki no Goku will also show up here. And the last group is the challenge menu. This features a lot of the more special quests that have special areas and something. We'll go into each a little bit more detail later. But the important thing that I want to note, and if you're looking for it, is that the daily 0 stamina quests have been removed from the game. You can no longer take advantage of that. You used to have 1 free run on the turtles, on the money, on the temples, 1 of each temple. They are actually all gone from the game now. Unfortunate, but they are just not here anymore. But yeah, you can always click these icons on the right, and you can always swipe them as you feel like. But like I said, you have absolutely forced, almost always, if you're switching categories, 1 extra movement to get to what you want, which is never the right way to go. Disappointing. We'll see if they fix it. Okay, and just to go over all the updates that you can see here, of course you can see normal quests. There's no change in the icons. There's really no updates from there. Eiyu no Shinden, the temples where you can get Ableberries, they have updated it such that when you get the invade stage with that yellow alert and that tree, right, now it will 100% guarantee a gold drop out of that. That is really awesome. I know a lot of people try to make their team so they can do like a 2-turn completion, right? And then when that tree comes out, it completely ruins it, and you don't even get a gold berry out of it. Yeah, well, no longer fear. That is gone. Well, it'll still come up, but you are guaranteed a gold, which at the very least is a very good thing, especially with the system where you're just trying to chop off the gold berries until you get the one you want. So that is an awesome update for sure. The last section is, this is a new icon. You haven't seen it before, but this contains all of the Evo material quests. Before, they were all just stuffed in the event group, right, at the very bottom of the stage. Well, that's gone now. You can all find that in this special group, and this includes the divines, this includes the dragon gems, the experience turtles, and of course the standard Evo materials and the money stages. Also note that some of those ticket quests that were in a separate category, it was actually kind of hidden on the bottom left corner, right, before. Well, now they are in its appropriate category of the Evo materials. Find them there, use them as you please. They are going to be hidden under this menu though, but if you want them, go ahead and click them and you can find that there. In addition, these quests, according to news, have been improved in terms of the amount that gets dropped and the rate at which they get dropped. While I haven't seen anything in particular myself, I really hope they're true to their word and have improved it, because we all know how painful getting dragon gems are. Luckily, they give out enough for free such that it's usually not a problem, but with all the Jushinka Kais, the Transcension Kais that have been coming out, certainly eventually it will become an issue, and hopefully this makes life a little bit easier. Next is the event menu here, you can see that while there are only 4 available here, there's a total of 5 possible options and possibly more going forward. Event quests, again, you know, all of your standard scheduled event quests are going to be found here. And always, if you have any special ticket quests, you will find them in the similar menu there, hidden away until you click it. The Tower of Champions can also be found here, as usual. No big updates here. Of course, this month we see that the reverse tower is on the north direction, so we'll see if they just flip that every month going forward, which I think makes sense. I don't know why that first one took like 3-4 months to come out with the next. You don't see it here, but of course Kinki no Goku, the Forbidden Abyss, will show up here when it's ready. The newest area, the Uncharted Lands, Mikai no Taichi. Ooh, that is not the right kanji, but that should be a big, right? Not against there. So sorry for that. But, you know, we have the newest stage. Again, if you were able to complete all 10 locations, it pops off the oldest one and then instead adds a newest one at part 11. And let's see. Magic Circle and Speed Demos. Alright, well, anyways. That is where you can find stuff. And of course the library. Oops. The library is still there for your special needs. Go ahead and go in there and play to your heart's content. The last section is of course the challenge group. We've got the Sacred Beasts here. Of course endgame content, which is quite challenging. But feel free to take that on. You got the playgrounds here on the back. While they aren't going to be coming out with new ones, there is still a source of, you know, 1 free orb for clearing all of these. So if you haven't already, go ahead. It is free, so might as well take that on. The Rekisen no Atochi, which I'm going to be translating to the historical ruins. We'll go over that very soon on what that is, but I don't want to interrupt what we have here. And we got the practice grounds here, where you can take on the Gozetsu quests for free, with no worries about dying. You can revive as much as you want. If you clear it without dying, you get 1 drop out of that. But it basically lets you get the opportunity to test out things before the actual Gozetsu quests come out. And of course, especially when you're in the States, you know, the timings for that is really late/early. So, you know, better to get your skills going while you're actually still awake and not, you know, dead tired. But that's the update here. The campaign is still here for if you want to use the Ableberry Badge. Nothing has changed there, but otherwise everything has been stuffed into its appropriate categories. And again, do your best to try and tell the difference, you know, with the characters. You'll be able to see it eventually through the icons once you go in there, but, you know, it will certainly make your lives a little bit easier if you can identify what's the difference between event and challenge, right? At least for the normal and the Ikse group, you can see that it's in 2 lines, so that should be easy to recognize. But, you know, event and challenge, they're fairly similar looking. You know, just think of it as the challenge has a check mark there in the middle, that le character. You know, if you think of that as a check mark, that's a challenge. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, well, hopefully that helps. Anyways, next is the Monpass update. You may have noticed on the screen here, but the icon has changed ever so slightly. You see it's now orange with a black flag, whereas before it was a red background with, I think, Oragon's profile, silhouette there. Basically, the change here is that the Monpass is now available for all users going forward, even though right now it's only available because of the current coronavirus situation. They have, you know, extended it until, you know, further notice, and, you know, rightfully the Monpass users complained a little bit because that was a paid perk that they had that was now given to everybody. So, you know, they kind of lost some of their, you know, Monpass swag luster, whatever you want to call it. Don't worry, you guys have gotten an amazing boost now. Like I said on the live stream, Monpass members will now get a perk that all Monspots, not just your personal, so once coronavirus is over, which doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon, but once it is opened back up, all spots, not just yours, will be guaranteed to be a plus version of that ability, if it exists. Some of the abilities do not have pluses on them, and those won't apply in that case. But for anything that does have a plus, it will be a plus for you as a Monpass user. And so, without doubt, if you are willing to spend that money, which actually, it is not that much to get a Monpass, account here, 480 yen a month. That's under $5. You probably throw away $5 for something per month, or at a total of $5 per month somewhere, some way. So if this is something you want, and you do seriously, you do farming, you do, you want to make sure you get, the stamina refresh, being able to get some experience through multiplayer co-op, special frames. If you keep it up for 3 months, you get a free pull that's guaranteed to be new. Let's see what else. The number of points you get for your Montama is increased. Let's see. You can switch, your badges to somebody without, without spending soul points. And there's a lot of perks to it, but really that Monspot bonus is quite attractive. And if that kind of, extra, attack power, extra experience, extra treasure chest drops is something that you are interested in, it certainly seems worth it. But of course, as a free-to-play user, I'm going to continue with that trend and not take advantage of that. But that shouldn't stop you from doing it. It does seem like a pretty good perk for sure. And again, if you are in Japan, it's even better because that does not just apply to your Monspot. It is for all spots. All of them. That sounds stupid broken. And that actually makes me kind of concerned as a non-Monspot user. Are they going to start scaling quests such that that is a given? That you can get like a Fire Plus badge and then Monspot and then get extra damage boost that way. I hope not. Okay. Number 4, talked about it real quick, the Rekisen no Atochi that is found in the challenge area, and it's this new icon here. Again, I am calling it Historical Ruins. Let me know if you hate that name anyway. But what the unblock requirements here is that you need 5 max lux to be able to enter the stage. If you don't have that, it's going to be locked for you. Go ahead, find a way to get to 5. It's not that hard anymore, especially with Monster Strike Day. Just make sure you go ahead and do that. But what this is you are able to take on the first wave of impossible Chozetsu quests with pre-selected teams that reflect parties that were used back in the day. There's some really nostalgic teams in there. You can see that each quest has a total of 3 different difficulties. And unfortunately, they do cost 60 stamina, which is pretty steep. So if you're really bored or something, that's when you want to do this. But it's kind of unfortunate that it costs so much stamina. But what this looks like is that you'll be given a deck of cards, and they'll be in a state that reflects the old days. It's not fully that way because if they got any buffs for their original forms, or if they have any luck skills, those actually still get activated, which is really a bummer. You can see I cleared the level 1 of it, and I did see some critical hits from these monsters, which we didn't get that. We didn't get that back in the day. I remember doing this with Napoleon, Marguerite, right? I'm going to use Marguerite because that's what her name was in the NA. Odin and, what was her name? Frigga? Oruga. And, right, Oruga was a slayer along with Napo, right? Napo was really, really big as a result of, being that slayer for Izanami. I remember, long day at work, did a pull, got Napo at the end of the day, and yes, I can finally take on Izanami. And then they get harder and harder. So level 2 features Nanami in her base form, Nobunaga X, Tiga, and I think that's Rapunzel back in her crazy transcended form. And of course level 3, when I saw this was really taking me back. Nurari-hyon, Queen Butterfly, of course, Jorgamunder here. Jorgamunder. Now I don't remember about was it Gerard, right? gear, right? I don't remember using him that much, but Jorgamunder and Queen Butterfly back in the day. Oh man, like I think I remember having to use like 3 Jorgamunders back in the day, but having that Deity Slayer L and see that actually being used brings back a lot of memories. And so this is a pretty cool blast of the past. I know if you watched my live stream that day, I was super excited for just this by itself. And you know, if you go to Kushinada and then check out that level 3 quest and see Izanami. Yes, I absolutely remember doing that. Like that's when her strike shot so strong if you're able to get that horizontal or vertical right on the weak point. And you almost had to do that to just guarantee, just because of how much HP Kushinada had, right? Like comparatively back in the day, that was really a long quest. Like I remember somebody saying back in the day that the Kushinada quest doesn't respect the player's time, right? That's how just long and arduous that quest was. But man, when you cleared it, did it feel good? And you just see some cool other parties here. Like I think I saw Izanagi had like a full Lucy party there for level 1. So for those of you who don't have Lucy back, in her original Ascended form, but that was a fun time. Anyways, when you clear a complete set of 3, you'll get 1 orb. So of course the rewards are a little bit paltry, but on the other hand, by clearing these stages, you do get these points, and you can see here that it'll show you your progress on them. Once you get to 5, you will get a brown badge here. You can see right here. Once you get to 15, it turns silver, and 30, it's gold. And presumably, once we get to the next wave, right, with I can't recall her name for some reason, but anyways, the level you clear, that gets you points for this badge. Once you get to 5, 15, 30, you get to that. Of course, there's no boss drops. This is only for glory here. Helper items, biscuits, and miracle mins are not allowed. You wouldn't want to use them anyway. You're not going to get any drops. And eventually we'll start to see more and more come this way. Cannot wait to see Avalon. There you go. Alright, number 5. You can start seeing some stats in game. So we'll just bust something out real quick. But basically how this works is that, you can start you start figuring out these quests you want to do, and then I'm already lost because I just want to do a simple Evo quest. Right, so you want to do a quick quest, and then, some of the more difficult... I don't want to spend 30 stamina on that. See, this is where I missed the, where I missed the 0 stamina quest, because that would have worked. Alright. So, you use all these Ableberries, you have the soul badges set up, but you really don't know what that. Some quests, especially the harder ones, it really depends what your attack line is to get to that one punch line, right? So now you can long press your monster and actually see their elevated stats. Now, these elevated stats does take into account all of the natural bonuses you get by going into a quest. So, if you're able to hit your gauge, of course Lorelei doesn't have a gauge, so it doesn't matter, but it'll take that into account with that 1.3 times bonus once you hit the max. It'll also give you the proper HP boost based on the number of times you use it, up to 1,000. Each time you use it is a +1 in the HP column. Ableberry bonuses, right? You can see I only have some cut downs here, but I have extra speed, life, speed, attack. That's all added to my Lorelei's. Those are all reflected in her stats right now. So you can see that that 28,000 number. You usually don't see that on Lorelei. It also takes into account any Ableberry's Monspot bonuses. So for example, if I had a water boost on here, it'll also reflect that. Helper items that you use. So for example, if you used it for Kinki no Goku 1, where you get double your HP, it will show your monsters with double their HP. Pretty hilarious to see that big number there for sure. Now what it does not take into account is, oh sorry, did I say soul badges earlier? Because no, it does not take advantage. It does not reflect any soul badge bonuses. Yeah, sorry. It also doesn't take into account any ability bonuses, like any Slayer bonuses or bump combo boosts, such as the power up. You won't see any bonuses reflected that way. And any gimmicks on the stage that would increase your monster's attack, it's not gonna show it go up and up there. So it's only gauge shot, HP bonus, Ableberries, Monspots, and helper items that will be reflected in game. But again, that will give you a much better idea of whether or not your monsters achieve the one punch line for certain stages or not. Is one opportunity for that being in use. Okay, number 6, suggested mons. So when you are ready to take on a stage, you know how it'll show you the possible monsters based on historical usages on who is going to be best. If you want to say, okay, let's see who I can choose, I'm not sure. You can see now that it's going to be broken down into different categories. Make sure you click the Osusume button, the one that's in blue. It'll show all of them, but it'll also show monsters that are available but not currently in their correct form. So it'll tell you if you do this, they are usable. So here you got the first category, which is Jushinka ni suru to tekise. Right? You can see the 3 characters there, Jushinka. So the same, if you transcend these monsters, you're good to go. The next set is if you ascend these monsters, and this could be something you need to switch from an evil form to their ascended form or their base form to the ascended form. But ascended monsters are going to be here, Kamika, and then the last one is Shinka. So if you get them to their evil form, they're going to be good for this quest. So again, you can go from ascended to evo or base to evo. That's pretty awesome. It's sometimes hard to know that maybe you swapped a monster for another form and they just simply won't show up on your list because they're not in the right form. At least now the system is smart enough to help you understand what you need to do to get them to their current form. Again, you are going to have to recognize some Japanese there, so again, take this as an opportunity to learn and see what Jushinka, Kamika, Shinka is, right? Because if it's not there, it's just not going to be showing up there. So hopefully you can take these 3 characters, get them loaded into your brain and do pattern matching. It will be helpful. Now, the important thing to hear is that this is only going to show up if you use default filtering. As you can see, I don't have anything here, but it also only works if you have elementals filtering or by rarity filtering. It'll still work, but if you start to do something fancier like this, it stops working. So do make sure you are aware of that. Now, I haven't tried that hard, but that's what the page said, so I'm going to go with it. 7, boss drops. You may have noticed on the event quest that you saw a lot more icons on the page. On the left. Basically, it shows you how do you get this boss monster. If you see that there's an egg there within a chest, those are treasure bonuses drops at the end screen, right? You can bring your max lux to get more chances to get drops. If you just see a very shiny egg, which I don't think there's any available right now. Let's see if on the schedule we can see that. There we go, here. So this quest here, featuring the Oregon, special, what is it, the soccer club, football club. If you just see the egg there, that's telling you it is a direct drop from the boss. So there is no need to bring any luck, just drops directly. And so this will give you an easy way to tell. Again, it may be nice if they, different colors, but I think you can tell if it's in a box or just not in a box. But you can now tell just by looking at that what method these monsters drop from. And also you may have noticed on the right side that it does show the difficulty levels of the quest. So that may be another thing you want to start getting used to in terms of the kanjis there, right? The Kyukyoku, Chozetsu, Bakuzetsu, Gozetsu, Chokyukyoku, Geki Kyukyoku. There's what, 6 different levels, and you'll see like Gozetsus and the Kais, but again, you know, that should at least help you understand where you can find certain quests in terms of, you know, missions. There's a lot of missions there, you know, clear a thing, a difficulty with this collab monster. Okay, Striker's Navi, if you don't remember what that is this I button on the home screen. Once you go in there, and you can see the quests that are available for you to, you know, they suggest quests for you to start running. It'll also show you what your current luck status is for those monsters. Right, so that's telling me the Tokugawa Hidetada is at 39 luck. And do you want to keep going? I'm not so excited about it. Right, I only have 30 because of that bingo board. But it was a pretty rough quest, so I don't think I want to do it. But you can use that to help gauge whether or not you want to keep going for some max lucks. Number 9. Okay, this is a little tricky. So, reopening your line URLs. So, how this works is you can go here. First thing you need to do is you can't have your line account linked to the game. Now, one downside to that is if you constantly play with like your alt, you actually do get a affinity bonus when you and your friend are linked by line and you play together. You have to break that. You can break that by going here. Right? Sorry, I did that a little fast. Scroll down to the help over here. Oops. And then you can see that there's some colored one. You can see the word line. That's in English. Click that. And then if you see 4 options here, you got to click the bottom one to say, I want to unlink my line account. And then you say yes to the left one. And you'll get this notification that says it has been detached. If you come to the screen and you only see 1, you are already not attached to line there. You're good. All right. Now, what's going to happen is you can go to your quest and you start that. And let's see. Ooh, because I ran a quest, I'm not sure if it's gonna reset it for me. Let me see. Anyways. What did I run? Yeah. Okay, so your first run, you are going to have to start it up as usual. Right? So give me a second to finish this run, and then we will show you what can happen the next time. Okay, so I remembered my last setup, so I didn't have to actually play the round. Click that line button, start up the page, and then it says you want to use a ticket, and then you'll see this new pop-up. This is now asking you, do you want to actually start line, or do you want to go to the to the game screen already? Click the right button, and it will take you into the mode where you start accepting users. Now, note, I didn't have to go to line, send it out again. I didn't have to go to, that page that shows you all of your friends to automatically send a thing. It is just reactivating the URL that you sent. Now, as long as you haven't changed the quest and you are still, performing your duties as the host, you will get that pop-up process all skipped. And so now, your friend that got your message the first time, remember, the first time you do it, you have to still send that line out. They can just click that link again, join the stage. Oops. Come on. You can just click that link, and then it'll work. And all I did was use that same link that you sent that very first time again. And it makes rehosting a little bit easier. Right? Now again, there is a downside in that you have to uncouple your line account to get that. If you don't unlink your line, it just naturally works as usual, and you're gonna have to go through that same process again and again. But I think that's okay because, you know, now if you're just running the quest over and over, you can just, you know, go here, you know, ready, go, and then you go to line, you say quest, hi, and then accept guests. Definitely saves a few steps. And I think this will be great for people who like do online hostings. And as long as you get that line message, you know, the account to join the group, you're set. Alright, number 10, Autofuse update. Monsters that come in a pre-transcended form, the Jushin Kamae, and transcended forms can be auto-selected with the checkbox option at once. Right? And I don't know if I'm going to have anybody like that. Oh, maybe? Is this a Jushin Kamae? No, this is Kami Kamae. But basically, I mean, just assume that they were Jushin Kamae. Before, this wouldn't actually work. Now it does. So this is just an application to people who have those specific Jushin Kamae and Jushinka forms. This doesn't apply to monsters that have Evo, Ascended, and a Transcended form. Even though technically that is pre-transcended, right? It has to be literally the state Jushin Kamae to take advantage of it. For the most part, nothing has changed, so you really don't have to worry. 11. If you did end up collecting those, you know, X flag monsters that showed up in the past during the Monster Freak event, you can now fuse them together. Max luck, 99 luck, and give them an Ableberry badge. So flag and X Dragon, flag and X Corn, flag Junior and X Dragon Junior, they are now unlocked in terms of that. I didn't farm any of those, so no thank you. Number 12, this is a pretty good one. If you look at Susano'o, and maybe you didn't because who really cares about him, right? His connect skill requirement has been very much relaxed. Before it was requiring at least 150 luck to activate. Now it has been eased such that you can use 2 different sling types. So you just need 2 pierces in the team to activate it, or have a total of 100 luck or more. So basically, if you have a max luck monster in your team, you can actually now use Susano'o's connect skill, which makes it from worthless to actually usable, and I think we'll start seeing Susano'o being used much more as a result of this. However, this was not made public anywhere. You had to look at the news to figure this out. So I want to make sure you, as the English speakers, non-Japanese speakers, right? You don't have to be speaking English, just not speaking Japanese. Well, I guess you have to speak English to understand me. But guys, Susano'o is usable now. That's amazing. So do not miss this. It requires either 2 or more pierce types in your team or 100 luck in your team. Very usable, very reasonable, right? I mean, sure, people will complain about having a max luck in your team, but honestly, for being able to get super null damage wall back, which was pretty much worthless before, this is good. So please make sure you understand that. Let everybody know he now has a usable connect skill. And that is it, my friends. Whew, that was a long video, but there was a lot of cool stuff updated there. And, you know, like I said, I think my favorite thing that I'm going to be dealing with is the Rekisen no Atochi. Sounds a lot of fun. Can't wait to try it out. I've already done one. Couldn't wait to do that. And, you know, having to actually whittle down those zombies to actually kill them is something I haven't had to do in quite a while. But it does bring me back the tension of having to clear it, trying to go for the match shots. It was a lot of fun. So I can't wait to try more. Otherwise, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. More than willing to help you. This is the kind of video that I really do want to make sure that you get as much information out there. Like stuff like this where physical UI changes will break your muscle memory. It's very important for you to understand where everything is now. So if you have any questions, where did you know, this go where, you know, I'll be able to help out. You know, just remember, you know, the 0 stamina quests are gone, so that's just not here anymore. But questions, go for it. If you like what you saw, hit the like, subscribe. Why don't you? We're slowly on our path to 1,000 subscribers, which would be a great milestone to hit by the end of the year. I'll try to make sure. Now that the UI has been updated a little, I was actually expecting something a little more, but maybe not. That's good, less work for me. But again, the plans to start doing a full tutorial, I'll try to get that started so that we make sure new players can understand what to do. We've got the collab coming up, SAO, next, this Friday. Once this event ends, the website already said, you know, that's when the start date was, right? The 18th. Was it 18th or 17th? Something like that. But event ends, we're going straight into SAO. Get ready for that. There's a lot of events there to deal with. And I know some people are disappointed that it was SAO, but hey, a collab's a collab. It'll be fun. A lot of cool stuff to deal with. So, I've been talking for 40 minutes, so I think my throat's gonna give out. But again, if you're still here, thank you. And until next time, bye bye.